Robert, in this video we'll be talking about Manchester United full potential sale in 2027, as well as some key quotes from Bruno Fernandes regarding his future at Manchester United, the truth on actually what went on with Saudi, and some other details as well, which we will discuss. But there's been an article come out today from The Athletic, who are very reliable, talking about what is the future like of Manchester United and kind of the whole thing about the consortium, the sales, and much more. Now, Manchester United's board met in Switzerland after the win over Sunderland, easing pressure on Ruben Amorim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe reaffirmed that he has 3 years to prove himself at Manchester United, which again we've known from um, the quotes that have come out. Now, however, co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe publicly affirmed that Amorim has 3 years to prove his worth. The calm was short-lived when Saudi official Turki Al Sheikh posted on X claiming that the club was in advanced talks for a sale to a new investor, igniting widespread speculation. Al Sheikh later clarified he was not involved and the buyer was not Saudi, sharing the information as a fan hopeful for a change from the Glazers family ownership. The club share structure features Class A shares traded publicly on the New York Stock Exchange and Class B shares with superior voting right predominantly held by the Glazers, granting them 67.91% voting control despite only less than half the total shares. Ratcliffe Ineos hold 29% of each class, acquired in 2024, a deal that included a £300 million injection and control over sporting operations. The agreement included drag-along rights effective from August 2025, allowing the Glazers to compel Ratcliffe to join a full sale, but any deal before February 2027 must exceed the $33 per share Ratcliffe paid to ensure he recoups his investment. A potential sale could value United at a minimum of $5.7 billion before 2027, surpassing Chelsea's record, though the current share price is around $16, valuing the club at $2.8 billion. Post 2027, Ratcliffe loses his price guarantee, potentially lowering the deal threshold. The Glazers might favour selling sooner to maximise returns amid upcoming debt refinancing and commercial shifts. Speculated buyers included Qatar Sheikh Jassim, who previously bid unsuccessfully, Saudi's interest despite denials, consortiums and private equity firms, though any process would be protracted due to regulatory and stakeholder complexities. So that is kind of the latest from them. Again, as I said, the Glazers may favour selling United sooner than 2027 to maximise returns. Obviously, the Glazers, we know, the main aim for Manchester United is always to make money, to make a profit, remove dividends from the club, and that's something that they've done all the way since they took charge of the club in 2005. Now, again, you look at the problems that United are in financially as well. We know all the problems with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But again, this wholesale thing could be a lot of speculation. Obviously, Manchester United sources and coming from the British media saying that they deny there has been any speculation with a potential bidder to buy Manchester United. Obviously, Sheikh Jassim is someone who was talked about a lot last year before Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in. Obviously, nothing came of that. He was, again, just unsuccessful with his bid. Obviously, there's now talks about a UAE consortium with ex-Manchester United players involved as to act as investors. And there's been talked about Saudi investment as well. So, listen, in terms of Manchester United going forward, I think we will, like as I said yesterday, I don't think there's anything concrete to come from what's kind of been going on at Manchester United. I don't think anything will come of it, but it's certainly something to look at with Ineos heritage in the club. The Glazers looking to sell, as this means they can make a return on their investment. I mean, United and every club goes up in value all the time. And I think it's just getting more money for them. But I think the Glazers, potentially 2027 could be the year they do so. Manchester United, it'd be a horror 22 years in charge for them. They've ruined the football club, but ultimately it'd be great to see the end of the Glazers, to be honest, at Manchester United. I think ultimately look at the problems that they've caused. Yes, they've sold players, but have they really treated the club how it should be? And absolutely not. So that's the latest on that. You could see a potential sale in 2027. Do I think anything will happen in the short term? Probably not, but again, any sale, especially of a club like Manchester United, is going to take a long time. Now, Bruno Fernandes, I didn't close. This is what he had to say. There's some quotes come out yesterday. Obviously, he was being linked to Saudi in the last few weeks. After turning down a move for them in the summer, he said, "I didn't close the door to move to Saudi because of the World Cup. That was never on my mind. I just wanted to stay at the club, and the club wanted me to stay. That's all." He said, "I love playing football, whatever the position. They can put me at fullback, winger, goalkeeper. I'll always give my best. Everyone has their preferences, but we have to adapt to the coach's ideas. It's a role I've already played at Sporting with George Jesus. I played alongside William Carvalho or Bartolaglia against low blocks. You have more time to think, more space, and the risk is lower. When I play as a 10, I have to create chances, find spaces, and finish. I adapt to the team because the team is what matters. The goal, whether it's the national team or United, is for the team to get good results. I want to play well and perform strongly, but I have to have less influence and the results are better. That's what's important to me." He then talked about on the rumours of moving to the Saudi Pro League. "It's an impossible scenario to imagine. I have no idea if there's any truth. I like to enjoy the moment, and for me the most important thing is representing the national team. It's a huge source of pride. I don't know if I even play tomorrow, let alone if I'll be playing outside of Manchester a year from now. It's not something that worries me. I'm happy where I am, otherwise I wouldn't have stayed. Honestly, it's not something that even crosses my mind." So, listen, I think Bruno's someone who, ever since he came to United, has always been committed. He's the ultimate professional. He plays every game that he can, more or less every game, unless there's suspension. And he gives 100% to the team. And I think that the only reason why, there's a few reasons why an exit around Bruno Fernandes has come up in the media. Number one, we need better midfielders who can actually fit that number 8 role, and Bruno isn't fitted for that role. Number two, we have now quality number 10 to where Bruno, in his favourite position or his best position, can't really get into the team, and he's such an influential guy in the team that he has to play wherever because he's that valued and he's that good. Another reason, as I said, he is 32 now. I think he isn't getting any younger, and yeah, that could be a reason why United look to sell him. But as of now, I don't think there's no interest coming in from Saudi. Again, they're always going to look to get marquee players. They were after Salah last year. They've obviously looked at Bruno, who has turned it down to stay at Manchester United. So he's obviously committed to this season. I think next season you very well could see the end of Bruno Fernandes at United. I pretty much think this is his last season at the club, which again is sad. And you want him to win more because what he's done for the club, his consistency and his output more than anything has been fantastic. But again, if he wins a trophy this year, so far he already has an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. I don't think that effectively represents what he's offered to Manchester United. But ultimately, I think when he came into the club, there's been a lot of how many managers has he been through? It was Oli when he came in, Ranić, Ten Hag, and now Amorim. So he would have had 4 managers during his time at United and only 2 trophies, which again is frustrating. But ultimately, I think you look at Bruno Fernandes and I think he'd be happy with his career. Would he want to stay at United? Maybe, but again, I think that blocks pathways for players like Kobbie Mainoo as well. And it all depends on who's the manager come next summer. I mean, if it's still Ruben Amorim, which at the moment is looking like it will be, with obviously Ratcliffe and co backing him for another 3 years, so we'll have to wait and see. But Bruno has kind of spoke out